Well, welcome to the third of 9 videos looking at how to plan a traditional project management project. And what we'll do during this particular video is explore the role of a work breakdown structure, how it relates to a requirements breakdown structure, and how that's used in the project. All right, well, very good. Here's the definition of a work breakdown structure. So it's going to be a hierarchical description of all the work that must be done to meet the needs of the client. And what it does is it extends the requirements breakdown structure by adding tasks and activities to the very bottom of that. And I've got a great graphic later on that will, actually it's the last graphic in the video, that shows how those two, the requirements breakdown structure and work breakdown structure, are related. All right, so if you look at that top block there that says requirements breakdown structure lowest level component, that would be a feature typically, then that feature has a number of activities that are required to implement it, and those may have a number of sub-activities, and then those activities have a number of tasks associated to accomplish that activity. So all you're doing is going down to the bottom of the requirements breakdown structure, finding that lowest level, be it a sub-function or a feature, whatever your lowest level component is, and then thinking about it in terms of what activities do I need to do to accomplish that, then what tasks do I need to do. So it's just a further decomposition. All right, and this just shows it, and the idea here is that work package is what do you need to do to actually accomplish that activity? What are all the tasks associated with that particular activity? So this is lots of uses for a work breakdown structure. It's great for a graphical representation of what's going on in the project. It's great as a thought process to kind of walk through and make sure, do I have all the requirements? Did I miss any functions? Did I miss any features? It's great with that kind of architectural view. And then you could color code it as you're going through based on completion and use it as a project status reporting tool as well. All right, there are a couple of different mechanisms for converting a work breakdown structure into, or converting the requirements breakdown structure into the work breakdown structure. Well, one way is to take the entire team and use the entire team as you're kind of going through and looking at each function and activity and task and splitting all of that out. Another way is to do a divide and conquer sub-team approach. The sub-team approach has an advantage of being faster. So if you're under significant time pressure, you may use the sub-team approach. Typically, a team approach is a better approach because everybody understands then the entire work required to complete this project. And likewise, you can break it down where you're doing a top-down approach or a bottom-up approach in terms of building that. It's really a mechanism of style and what you prefer to do on that particular project. All right, here are the 6 kind of stated completion criteria to make sure that each activity is at the appropriate level of granularity. So we want to make sure that we're generating activities that we can later use in our network diagram to schedule out the project. So first of all, the status and completion have to be measurable of that activity. It has to be a bounded activity that has a deliverable that, again, you can go, yep, I got that deliverable, it's been done. The time and cost need to be easily estimated, and if not, you need to decompose it to lower levels where it does become easily estimated. Activity duration has to be estimated and within, a certain limits, and each work assignment should be independent so that you can do the scheduling. If there are dependencies there, then again, you need to break that down into smaller level tasks so that you can build your network dependency diagram. All right, the 7th criteria is going to be that project management judgment. If the client didn't participate in building the work breakdown structure like you expected, you feel uncomfortable about this, you see lots and lots of scope changes coming, you need to pause and think about this a little bit more and say, is a traditional project management approach going to be the right model, or should we move to a project management lifecycle model that accommodates more changes? The first one's a little bit challenging, though. Traditional project management is the one that needs the least amount of client involvement. But again, if you don't know what the requirements are, you go back to that project management landscape, and you're going to have some challenges trying to solve a non-traditional project using a traditional approach. All right, there are a couple of exceptions to this where you're going to stop before completing the work breakdown structure. And those typically, if you've got a short duration task, you got a hammer and nail, then you don't need a full breakdown of that. That's just non-value added time. For high-risk activities and projects or projects that have a large duration variance, again, it's generating non-value added time to the project. You don't want to spend all this time planning a project that or documenting a project in that regard that's going to be abandoned in 4 weeks. So for high-risk activities, it tends to be document light and process light as you're moving forward. All right, so here's that diagram that hopefully will stick in your head. You've got this requirements breakdown structure with a project goal and solution that decomposes that one goal and solution down to a series of requirements, functions, subfunctions, and then features. That's all within the requirements breakdown structure. And then what the work breakdown structure does is it's a superset. It's adding activities and tasks and work packages down below to each of those features, and then that allows you to actually do the actual scheduling. Well, here we are at the end of the third of 9 videos looking at how to plan a traditional project management project. During this particular video, I've looked at the role of the work breakdown structure. What we're going to do during the next video is start getting into estimating time and estimating other resources associated with a project. All right, keep on learning, keep on studying, and I'll see you in the next video.